So we talked about this a bit on post game last night, and it's the drama in Vancouver. Elias Pettersson
What
and
a weird situation.
Yeah.
Man.
They're messy out there.
They're really good. They have a bunch of really good players. They were in the President's Trophy race for
Unclear
a while
if they're
season.
really good, but they're at least a playoff caliber.
They're a playoff caliber team that was in the President's Trophy race for last season. They have a bunch of star quality players. They have the core of something special.
They do. They have a strong
definitely
core. They have the high end talent that we wish the Flyers had, aside from
Wonder
Michkov
if we could get
and
some
maybe
of it.
Connect.
Unfortunately for them, two of their best forwards, Elias Pettersson and JT
The
Miller,
girls are fighting.
cannot get along.
Yeah, apparently they just plain don't like each other.
Don't like each other. And like
Go among
JT
us.
Miller is like the ultimate, I guess, like try hard, yelling at everybody. And Pettersson's just kind of like a
European.
leave me alone kind of guy.
Right.
And they just can't seem. Honestly, it seems to be weighing on like the locker room and the coach more than any. Like
apparently Taka
those two are just
hates
like. We hate each other, and so be it. Not everyone has to like each other.
Yeah.
And everyone else is like, we can't take this. This is ridiculous.
I really wish I could be a Fly. Like, are they yelling at each other? Like, are they just like
Well,
in the corner giving each other the finger? Like, what's going on?
It's like the one thing I heard was like in practice something happened, and then
It's something did happen in practice.
Miller
Yes.
starts losing it on Pettersson and calls him a big effing baby, which hilarious.
That is
It is
You
funny.
big baby.
Yeah.
that hurts so much more than like a swear word.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's just like, you're a freaking baby. But anyway, because of this, these two unable to get along and the locker room dynamics, because we talked about it last night, like JT Miller's going to be 32 in March. Elias Pettersson turned 26 in November. Who do you trade? The old
guy.
one.
Yeah, that would make
but
the most
apparently
sense.
Taka loves him, right?
JT Miller is like the heart and soul of that team. And like on 32 Thoughts today, they're like, Quinn Hughes, good captain, not like the most outward, lead by example.
He's not the fiery guy. You can tell just by watching his interviews.
Like
You
the
can
lead
look
by
at his
example
face.
kind of
Amazing play.
Yeah. Lead by example sort of dude.
Yeah.
Whereas JT Miller is the one in the locker room dragging everyone into the fight, as they say about like a Scott Lawton or something. He is just the fiery, like, you will follow me because I'm going to make you kind of guy.
Who I actually, for those who do the cross sport comparisons, who I kind of have in my head that JT Miller is like? Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
Just like kind of a crazy
He's
person,
a dick,
but like hyper competitive and like
he makes you better somehow.
He wears on you, but he is good.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like, you can definitely win with a guy like that as long as everyone else on the team doesn't want to kill him.
Yeah. Now, because of these locker room dynamics, like it's very possible they trade JT Miller. There's been a lot of rumors him to the Rangers. I think it's just kind of one of those Rangers, like, we want him, so we're gonna get him. I think Buffalo also got mentioned because that's the exact kind of guy they've said they've need for like 2 years now.
It's fair.
But it's a real possibility that Elias Pettersson is the one who's traded. He was, of course, the 5th overall pick in 2017, notoriously. He turned 26 in November. He averaged 96 points over the previous 2 seasons. This year, 28 points in 34 games. He's really freaking good.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Flyers have what Vancouver would be looking for, but just thinking about what they need and the opportunities that they're looking to pounce on. What are the chances a number 1 center of this ilk is available like this again?
Never.
Like Jack Eichel happened.
Never.
Has it happened since then?
No. And
No.
that was also a freak situation. Like, this never happens.
Yeah.
So if he is
You
in
have
fact
to take advantage of
available,
this.
in my opinion, there's one dude on this team that I would not trade for Elias Pettersson. Guess who it is?
I wonder.
It's Michkov.
Joel Farabee.
Yeah, right.
Joel Farabee.
I would, and this is actually what we were yelling, like jokingly, yelling at each other about before the show. Like, would they like a Travis Konechny? Maybe. He's pretty good. They could use his point production to replace what they're losing with Pettersson. Charlie argues that the Flyers will never do that because it's mean.
Well, I argue that he has a no movement clause kicking in at the start of the contract,
Yes.
and I really cannot envision
July
a scenario
1st.
where they pull a Richardson Carter and after
tried to do it to Sanheim.
presumably promising him.
They were going to do it to Big Travis.
Yeah, well, the Sanheim situation was also different because it was an entirely new GM.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, this situation, like, you know this is what you need. Getting it in the draft, possible? Yes, but also lottery ticket. It's a gamble. You already know that Elias Pettersson is this guy. So, like, if Vancouver, if they call you and they say, we want Travis Konechny and some other stuff, what do you got? And they say, nah, can't do it. We just made him a promise. You're out of your mind.
Yeah, they don't have designs on winning a cup.
Right. I'm not saying that Vancouver would want, like, I'm not saying, like, that's definitely what would get it done. But in the situation that Vancouver calls you and says, we want a Travis Konechny package, put it together for us, we'll see what we can do. You're crazy if you don't do it.
What I was saying before the show, and this is what we were yelling at each other about before the show, I think that betrays, and all fans have it. They all do. I think that betrays a, like, I don't know these people as people type of mentality.
No, I get it.
Because the idea of like, well, if you wouldn't do that, then you don't care about winning. No, you obviously care about winning.
I'm not saying you have to like doing
obviously
it.
care about winning a Stanley Cup, and the vast majority of NHL teams would not do that to a guy who is a core part of your team that has done nothing wrong.
No.
Unlike Richardson Carter, who they had done things wrong.
Nothing wrong. Mike Richards has never done anything wrong in his
playing
life.
really well. Sanheim was coming off a very bad year. Travis Konechny is maybe having the best year of his career, and I do not think that the vast majority of organizations, there might only be like 4 or 5 that would even consider doing it. One is obviously Vegas because they do that crap all the time. Another
And
is
what did they do
Another is
recently?
the Rangers, who are dealing with an organizational mutiny because they tried things like that. What I'm saying is that I do not think that most NHL teams would consider doing that to Konechny. And I don't think that means that most NHL organizations don't want to win and don't have serious designs on a Stanley Cup.
I think they want to, but when it comes down to, like, trades are hard.
Yeah,
That's one of those things. Yeah,
That's
you
the
got to make
thing.
hard decisions.
Yeah.
That's why you get paid a ton of money.
Right, exactly.
You got to
Like,
do something that's going to make
And
you
I-
unpopular.
and what I'm saying also is I think it's easy for you guys to say that because you don't personally know
I know,
Travis
but
Konechny.
I'm not saying that they don't, like, Danny Briere should, like, feel great about this decision and should, like, celebrate it and, like, throw Konechny out of the building. Like, you're going to feel bad about it. You're going
My
to be
thing
apologetic.
is-
You're going to be like, I screwed you over. I'm really sorry. However, you can't get a 1C like this ever. I have to do the big boy thing and make the team better.
My problem is, like, I don't think it's Konechny. I think
probably
if they're
not.
trading Elias Pettersson, they want someone to at least be another top 6 center. And if they're not interested in a Morgan Frost, and then, like, a bunch of
Chevy
other stuff too. But, like, right now,
You would
like,
assume Luchenko would have to be part of
yeah,
that.
Probably.
Luchenko, sure. Like, Luchenko picks ancillary stuff. But I would assume they want a center replace, like, their 5th overall pick franchise center.
I just like looking around. Like, I don't know who has, like, a really, really good center that they're, like, who is this team?
One team that does have those kinds of pieces, in theory, Buffalo. To me, if I'm like, you mentioned it, and I completely believe this. The logic, because I know everybody's bringing up the Rangers because Miller played for the Rangers, and like, there's the connection there. I get it.
They
And
need a kick in the ass.
and the
He's
Rangers are in free fall.
Kick in the ass guy.
To me, there's no team that makes more sense here than Miller to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, that is so the logic. That is a team with a ton of talent that needs a lunatic competitive person in that room to kind of throw some bombs, and that's JT Miller. The problem is JT Miller has the no trade clause.
Does he?
Yes, he does, and Pettersson doesn't.
Also,
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
didn't one of the national guys also kind of make it seem like Tocchet would prefer to keep Miller over Pettersson?
I think that's all conjecture.
Oh, okay.
No, the way it works.
Just, like, think about who Tocchet is.
Well, yeah,
Think about who
exactly.
JT Miller is.
Yeah.
Here's the way it's set up. They both do have no move clauses.
Okay.
Pettersson is 26. The no move clause is not allowed
That
to
can't
kick
kick
in
in until you're 27.
Whereas Miller has the
Right,
no move
right,
because
right.
he's 31 going
So
on
they'd
32.
be doing a Travis Konechny
So
to
if we're
Elias Pettersson.
if we're talking about
Yeah.
the idea of Vancouver's got to move one of them. it would be easier to move Pettersson and get as big of a market as possible because you can trade him anywhere. Whereas with Miller, like, I don't know what JT Miller would approve and what he wouldn't approve, but I can tell you that Buffalo don't have the best reputation in league circles. And I'm not even talking about them being a bad team. No, the fan base is great. They are diehard sports fans in general.
The
Low-key nice city.
Like the Pegulas are not highly thought of owners.
No, it seems like a disaster.
I thought
that
it was
organization.
notable when Rasmus Ristolainen signed in Philly, was traded to Philly, and the first training camp, the thing he was talking about the most in his first press conference was how great the facilities are. It was telling. It was like wow, this is what it's like to play for an organization that spends money
If they
on their stuff.
If Buffalo wanted to like practice at Penn State, they could have awesome Pegula donated facilities.
Right. Yeah.
However,
all the money from the Pegulas goes to Penn State. Basically.
Yeah, it doesn't go to the hockey team.
Oh, they're Penn State people?
Oh, yeah.
That
They basically built the Penn State hockey program.
Yeah. Like it was a club team,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Here's a bunch of money so you can join D1,
Yeah.
like build a stadium, do all that."
And
crap.
now they're actually pretty
And
good.
now they're pretty good,
But
yeah.
to me, setting aside no trade, no move, like Miller to Buffalo makes so much sense.
Yes.
Trade him Dylan Cousins, boom, done. Like Dylan Cousins and some other stuff, and then boom, we're good.
I think the Flyers could beat anyone on quantity,
Yeah.
just given the picks they have, some prospects,
We got some dudes.
picks coming up. I
So
don't
many
know if they
wingers.
can win on quality, but I think
The only
this
way they
should
can
be-
win on quality is if they offered up
if they
Michkov.
Michkov, and then what's the point?
Yeah,
so we
exactly.
just went 1 for 1, and we're exactly where we are.
Yeah.
No,
You need someone to pair with it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's I just think they need to do basically whatever it takes, because this is the situation. Like this right here is the thing you said we're waiting for.
Yeah.
I don't know when this situation is going to come around again. It may, it might. Maybe Connor Bedard really hates it in Chicago.
Wouldn't you?
I mean, it's a fun city.
Nightmare.
I just mean,
Playing
he just,
there seems like a nightmare.
He just
Right
hates
now,
his best line mate being injured Taylor Hall. Like, oh, he got scratched and we don't know why. Like, maybe that happens, but outside of that, I don't see these sorts of situations just
They don't pop
like
up.
this isn't the NBA where these
Yeah.
things happen twice a year.
Like even
Everyone kind of just hates moving and wants to stay where they are, even if the team stinks.
like would Cousins be the next best center that you could plausibly get?
Probably.
And that's not
I mean, unless there's
that's a-
someone else that's
a
available.
tier down.
Like Keith Jones did say in a recent interview, like the guy we traded for is probably going to be someone you don't even know is available. So
All right, smart
All right.
pants.
Before we wrap up today's show, I want to say we appreciate those of you watching on TV. Head to allphly.com for more of the show. Before Super Chats, I just have to ask, because I got this out of Charlie last night, the attitude thing with Pettersson, whether it's just not his character, but just like his personality. Does that scare you off at all?
I don't know. Kolosov kind of has jerky vibes, and
yeah,
that,
but he's a goalie,
yeah, I guess they don't have to be normal people.
Yeah. pretty much.
No, not really. John Tortorella's not gonna be here forever. I don't.
See, I want Tortorella to get his hands on
He
him.
could fix.
Make a man out of him.
Maybe he could.
I mean,
Stop being a baby.
I don't know. Tocchet, like, I don't think Tocchet is as good of a coach as John
I
Tortorella.
know.
But
They do have a
Tocchet is
very
has that
similar
same
vibe.
attitude.
But
And
this
he
is-
can't pull that dog out of Pettersson in his mind.
But this is what we're doing. Like, they're trying to win. He doesn't have time to focus on
Yeah, fair.
turning him
That's
into
true.
the type of player he needs to turn him into. He's telling him, go out and score 2 goals, and I don't care. Just don't fight with your teammates. Stop it.
Maybe
Like,
Pettersson will come in here and be like, you know what? New opportunity. Let's effing go. Like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it here. Like,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
The reason
Chip on
why
our shoulder,
closer
that
to
whole
home.
thing. Yeah.
Right.
the reason why I wouldn't necessarily worry about
It's
it.
close. Yeah, I think it's closer. Yeah.
This is just my opinion. The reason why I wouldn't necessarily worry about it is I think, look, I don't know the ins and outs of Elias Pettersson's personality.
Yeah.
Maybe he is somebody who like doesn't have a great work ethic, doesn't, give it his all on every play, whatever. Maybe though, he's just a little bit odd for hockey.
Dougie Hamilton.
European.
The Flyers have this particular locker room has done well with guys like Owen Tippett, who like great guy. I think Owen Tippett is a really, really good person. He is not your traditional rah-rah jock type.
Nah, he's like a tatted up, like having fun, like
Yeah.
different sort of dude.
He's a different sort of vibe. And he has integrated into this room beautifully. He is now buds with everybody, and everybody loves him.
I feel like Owen Tippett is one of my friends. It's
I
like,
could see
Yeah,
that.
man. Just like tattoos, have some beers.
soft boy.
Chill out. Yeah. Hang by the pool.
You look a little bit scary, but you're actually like a soft, sweet boy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Travis Sanheim's another guy where Travis Sanheim is not your normal, like, super
Alpha.
Yeah, alpha jock type.
Yeah.
And he is one of the leaders in that room. If that's who Pete Pettersson is, maybe he could be a real good fit here. Maybe.
And then we're going to be looking for a JT Miller to pull it all together at some point. This is, anyway.
It
all
just
right.
goes around in circles.
Yeah, all right.
We all silly like the mayor.